Keep California cowgirls from vanishing.
Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show. Training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse Semi. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator.
Morgan mare Sadie works over her haunches with an ATV cow simulator.
Pulling slack. And Susie's coming my way because she feels the pressure behind her horns.
More training for Morgan mare Semi to pull a Harrow, although we know we will not be ready to harrow the test site until the fall.
On getting her to be able to pull the Harrow in this test site. We definitely need more compost and soil here. We may even order some from the nearest garden supply because we just aren't creating manure that's composted fast enough to be ready by August, which is a couple months from now, to plant our Timothy. But in any case, we want to continue to train Semi to be the Harrow pull horse here. So what we're going to do today is just, we've only got a 3-man team today. We're going to have Aaron pick up the Harrow slightly off the ground and let Semi pull it. Otherwise, the tines of the Harrow get caught in this very deeply rooted pasture grass. And I really don't want to disc up this pasture grass, not for this test site. If I were to have a large area where I'm going to grow Timothy hay the entire season and so forth, I'd be willing to disc up the ground and make it totally ready. But instead, for my test, I'm just going to bring in ground cover, have Semi harrow it, and plant the Timothy hay with our irrigation and see if we can get the Timothy to grow here in Santa Cruz. Okay, so now Aaron's just going to leave the camera on and come on over here. Semi's playing a little bit with her bit, just trying to get her tongue in the wrong place. She's been standing for quite a while we were trying to get ready. So Aaron, you know how to hook up. So we've done this many times, but you know every time is a challenge. We're hooking a quick release to a quick release. The tug straps to the chains of the single tree that are connected to the Harrow. Okay, and if there's any trouble, Aaron and Katie, we all know where the quick releases are. Just a couple steps is all I want today from Semi in the step-up direction and the forward direction. Not asking her to pull this slightly weighted down Harrow on this deep-rooted grass, but just asking her to feel the pull of the Harrow as Aaron holds it up. Okay, and Katie is doing the drive line work. Okay, Aaron, pick it up slightly. We've got a chain on the back of the Harrow to help him pick it up. Can you pick up both? Good. Okay, now the only thing that's on the ground is the single tree. Let's see if she's okay on. Katie, go for step up. Step up. Step up. Step up. Good. Whoa. Whoa. Very nice. Feel it. She went off to the side, and so she felt the chains on the side of her back legs, and we're going to continue to desensitize her to those feelings. Aaron, you can put it down and release the tug straps. I wanted Semi to feel the chains, to feel the pull. I want her to realize that this is her job. They love to do work if they know they're doing work. And once again, my philosophy, one very small step at a time. The tug straps are now released. Can I release the lead line and you can just take her back? We feel like we've made progress with Sammy today. We feel like we've been able to show you the progress we've made. We've been able to tell you what we're aiming for. And we hope to continue to be able to show you. Now Erin's going to follow Sammy out into the wide open pastures. Let's make sure she's still behaving. Wind is picking up a little bit. We do a lot of this kind of practicing while we're waiting for the whole team to arrive and get the camera set up out here in the wide open pastures, which is different from in an arena or even on a driveway. A lot of distractions here in this urban rural setting. Semi's doing just fine. And that's all for today. This is Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl, www.urbancowgirlchannel.com. We have many a show up there now about Semi learning how to pull a harrow.
Session, trying a new training technique. Well, last time when we had Semi hooked up to the harrow and just asked her to move a little bit forward when the harrow was up off the ground, she moved off to the side, which I should have anticipated. Going straight is not automatically natural to a horse. So now we're making Aaron M., who is a helper here, be a harrow. Whoop. We've got him holding on to one of the single trees that is sand-filled, so it's an ABS pipe with sand in it, somewhat heavy, but with just a little bit of extra weight, we're asking Semi to step forward, come around, and then come back as if she were going to be hooked up to the harrow. Step up. Step up. Ha. 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 Step up. Step up. Ha. Ha. Good. Over. Whoa. Okay, we're going to try to straighten her out with the drive lines and the lead line. Whoa. Good. Whoa. Whoa. Not quite straight enough. See if you can back her up. Whoop. No, we can't back her straight. Not yet. She's still too concerned. And please notice that we put the blinders back on, and here's the reason. Without the blinders on this harness, the bit kept falling out of her mouth because the blinders have some buckles that let us put the bit at the correct position in her mouth. So we're going to deal with the fact that maybe the blinders are making her a little bit nervous. That's better than having a bit fall out of the mouth in the midst of a training session or a pulling session when they're really doing the farm work. Okay, so in the spirit of one small step at a time, and for the purposes of education to show you how we're trying to train Shadrach, Triton, Semi here to pull that harrow eventually when we get enough compost and ground cover in this test site corridor. We are simulating a harrow. Let's go back this way. Step up. Step up. Step up. Ha. Ha. Good. Now come on around. Ha. Ha. Good. See if we can straighten her out. Back. Whoop. Good. Good. Let her stand. Whoop. Every time you ask a horse to back, backing isn't their favorite direction of movement. Let them stand just for a few seconds and then ask them to go forward. So we're going to do it one more time, but you know what? Let's go G this time. We need to do things in each direction. And keep in mind that I am trying not to be in front of Semi at any moment, because if she does bolt, I don't want to be in her bolt path. So we're going to go forward a little bit, step up, go out a little bit more. Whoa. Now we're going to step up. G. G. Step up. means right, haw means left. Whoa. Good, now we're gonna G, G, G. Very nice. Whoa. Now I'm going to ask her to step up G a little more. We'll see if we can back her. Step up G. Whoa. Now with the drive lines. Whoa. Good girl. Back, back, back. Perfect. Whoa, let her stand. She's fighting at her bit, so she is nervous about all of this. Remember, she has her blinders on. And you know what? It's windy. We've got a chainsaw working next door. Remember, this is an urban rural setting. You saw her neck just get stiff and high. She hears those things. So we're just going to call this our moment of resolution. Whoa! With Shadrach, Triton. Sammy, we don't want to stop on that note. Whoa. No, we're going to show you that we want to stop on a note where she's giving us the right answer. We only G'd once. Let's try to G again, but we've got that noise over there with not only a chainsaw, but falling branches. Whoa. Whoa. G. G. Whoa. Whoa. Back. 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 Okay, let's back all the way back. If she's backing, back, 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 back. Whoa. Close enough. Let her stand. We've shown you a different way to get in position. And there's our moment of resolution. That's all for today.
We continue to give Semi practice in pulling a single tree which is on the ground. We will not pull the actual harrow, which will be connected to the single tree, until Semi is confident in her pulling work and until we have more compost on the ground in the test site. We are using a simple nylon surcingle and cotton lines and tugs for this training.
And doesn't this look weird? We're in the square pen, the covered square pen on a sanded ground, not in the pasture. And here's the reason. The primary reason is, even though it's the first week in June, it's like winter weather and stormy. The secondary reason is this. I received an email from Doc Hamill in Montana. Finally, he replied to one of my questions from weeks ago, and I'm going to read this email because I want you to know why we want to come back to some fundamentals before we continue out in the wide open pastures. With either this kind of pulling of farm implements and working with pairs driving, both of which I'm not real experienced in. I am Sonia Sokolow, the urban cowgirl, and I'm not yet Sonia Sokolow, the urban farmer. But here is what Doc Hamill said to the questions that I asked him by email. I'm going to read it to you because I think it's really important, and it explains why we're here in the covered square pen, in addition to there being bad weather outside. He says, please do not try to drive your horses with two sets of single lines. This is not the way to drive a two-horse team, and it is unsafe. Well, with Semi, we're only doing one set of single lines, but this email still scared me. You need to have a set of team lines which have cross-check lines attached. Just as important, you will need to know exactly, and exactly is in all caps, how to hook up the team lines. There are several ways to hook them up wrong, which will result in problems or wrecks. Wrecks is a word that I see a lot in my small farmer's journal too. It kind of scares me. I want to do everything right so that we can avoid wrecks. You will also need to know how to adjust the team lines in various ways for safety, function, and comfort of the horses. Well, okay, we're here in the square pen. We're going to lunge Semi briefly, and we'll turn off the camera for that because I've shown many footage of Semi's responsiveness to lunging. But let me read on a little bit with what Doc Hamill said. before I turn off the camera. It is also very important to have a special safety feature to keep the cross-check buckles from being accidentally pulled up into the Hames rings or spreader rings. Depending on the length of your DoubleTree and neck yoke, you may need to use spreaders. If this happens, this problem where the buckles are accidentally pulled up, your lines cannot work and you lose control of the horses. It is a very common cause of wrecks. Well, you know, this email, even though I replied to him and haven't received an answer yet because he's a very busy trainer of harness horses in this country, made me say, wait a minute, I'm going to make sure I step back and do every fundamental step I can possibly learn to do. Also, I'm going to the Sacramento Western States Horse Expo next weekend. I'm going to see if there are any harness tech dealers there, maybe get some of these cross-check lines, see if there are any DVDs available, because I've been doing what I've been doing with my training of my pairs driving horses and of Sammy, just from what I know about natural horsemanship training and what I learned about driving a cart. Well, pulling something on the ground has some extra added parameters here, which I want to make sure I know how to do it in small steps and safely. So we will show you how we backtrack a little bit with Semi, and then how we do it with Eve and Sadie when we pairs drive them, and that's in another video, and we'll show you our progress that way and hope that you heed my warning, which I got from Doc Hamill. Do it slowly, do it fundamentally, do it safely. Extra fine, we got the surcingle on fine with a little white pad under it. We're letting her smell the single tree. She's a little bit concerned about it because, especially in front of her face, she can't see it very well. Things are kind of blurry for horses in front of their face. We've got, Katie has in her left hand some very inexpensive tools that we're going to use for ground driving here in the square pen. Those are various ropes that I have made into 22-foot lengths with clasps on the end that easily can connect to a headstall so that we can ground drive. And we'll run the ropes through the rings on the surcingle. And we probably will choose, we're going to do it on another day because we feel like we've done enough with Semi today. She hasn't been in the square pen in a long time, and just coming into the square pen can be a little bit disconcerting to a horse because it is covered and it has mirrors. Lots of the time the mirrors kind of scare the horses at first. Okay, and then the rain can be heard on the roof. So one more thing I'm going to show you, and that is what we're going to use on our head to begin with. And that's a side pull. This side pull has a rawhide noseband. And I'll take the reins off because we won't need them unless we decide to jump on her back. But the reins can be easily removed because they're scissor clasps or snaps. And the side pull is what we're going to connect the ground driving lines to. And then we might even use the second set of ground driving lines as tug straps coming from the rings, various rings on this nylon surcingle. And the tug straps will be used to connect to the ABS singletree, which is lightweight. And then slowly we will, very fundamentally, as safely as possible, we will have Semi just pull that singletree here in the sand. And then when we think we're ready, because we're not quite ready to have her pull the Harrow over the compost because we don't have enough compost yet and it might take several months, we'll have her pull the Harrow here in the sand. And the Harrow tine should easily be able to pull through this sand rather than the deep-rooted grasses in our pasture. So that's our plan. And thank you, Doc Hamill, if you watch this video, thank you for your Heads up, advice, this can be awfully dangerous. If you don't have much experience, buy my DVDs, which I'm looking into purchasing, by the way. Buy the right tack and proceed one small, safe step at a time. So that's what we'll do with Semi, and we'll also do it with Eve and Sadie when we drive them in pairs.
We now ask Semi to move forward with drive lines and single tree pull, making sure that we have lead line control.
We have Semi ready to go with our simulated tug straps, our inexpensive rope drive lines. We've got a 12-foot lead line and a bridle and bit in her mouth. And I'm going to get the single tree, which is leaning up against the wall. And we're going to all get into our positions, which have been designated. Aaron at the lead line, me at the tug straps, and Katie at the drive lines. And guess what? I just saw my fourth person arrive, so we're going to turn off the camera for a minute and get him in here to operate the camera. Step up. Aaron's going to be at the head in case we have a concern. He has a white stick in his hand in case he has to use a visual block. And we're just going to step up a few steps. And if she does well, one small step at a time, we will go to the next step, which is run these tug straps through the eye bolt of the single tree. Okay, let's go, Katie.
Step up. Step up.
Good.
Oh.
Oh.
Good girl.
Good girl. She's nervous. See, she's biting at her bit. It's all right. That's a body language sign I'm going to pay attention to, and I'm going to make like baby step decisions here. What's the next thing to do? Let's go a couple steps up again.
Step up. Good girl.
Good.
Oh.
Ooh.
Good.
Okay, now she may back up. You don't have a stick? Okay, you hold this. I'm going to get the stick in case she does inadvertently back up. I'm going to want to be able to touch her on her hip to say, no, 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 we want forward motion. Ooh. Can you hold the stick? Okay, I'm going to go to the next step. It's all right.
Easy.
Okay, now you're going to get her attention by doing a little jerk with the rope halter. Okay, and this is making a lot of noise back here. And she doesn't have blinders on. To make sure that nothing is hung up on anything. There's a lot of tack involved in pulling. You okay on this one? Okay. Through the eye bolt here.
Good girl. Good girl.
And I'm not going to connect it because if she does get spooked by all these sounds back here or the pull feeling, I want the single tree to just fall clear. Again, a lot of chains and sounds back here that she's not used to.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay, another couple steps up.
Step up. Step up. Oh.
Whoa,
Oh.
whoa, she's watching me now because I gave quite a strong tug on her bridle. And Erin's a little bit new at this. There are times where you need to demand attention as best you can with a 1,000-pound horse. See if you can back her up now, Katie. You okay? Back, 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 back. Good. Whoa, very nice. Okay, a little more back. She's doing good on back. Back isn't a natural movement for them. Good. Whoa, good. Whoa. All right, she's kind of biting at her bit. But look, her ears are back, listening to Katie. Okay, let's see if we can go up again.
Step up.
Step up.
Good girl.
Very nice. Okay, stop.
Oh.
Whoa, very nice. See, that neck is a little bit upright and stiff. I'm a little bit concerned about that body language.
But she didn't spook this time. And you saw how we're going to use these tug straps eventually to pull that single tree. I'm going to ask Aaron to, first of all, give me the white stick. You always want your tools in your hand if you can arrange it. All right, it's all right. It's all right. Now you go get the single tree and walk behind me. Let her see it. And you know, it's going to make noise. Let her see it. It's all right. It's all right. She's looking at it. Good. And walk back there. Let's stand for a moment. In baby steps now, we're letting her know what her job is eventually going to be. It's all right. She's trying to look. It's all right. She's concerned about it. Eventually we're going to do this, we hope, with the Harrow here on the sanded ground, because we come to realize that we need a whole lot more compost before she can pull the Harrow where we wanted to in our west quarter of our pasture. Now, she's still a little bit concerned. I'm going to ask you back up with Katie. Back. Keep going, keep going. A nice energetic back. See how I'm using my full arm to tell her back. Okay. Good. Now I'm going to come a little bit closer in case I want to say something quite firmly. She's not blinking a lot. Blinking is a sign of, well, okay, I'm not worried. So I know that her body language is telling me I'm a little bit worried. Okay, Katie, step up, step up, step up. Okay, whoa, whoa. Good, good. Make nice with my tools. It's all right. Now, can my cameraman zoom in on her eyeball? I want to show you what a concerned eyeball looks like. I've learned a lot by watching RFD TV, watching for body language signs, even though she's standing still. Her neck is straight up. She is a Morgan, but I want her neck lower down if she was relaxed, and I want to see more blinking of her eyeball. So I'm going to call it quits for today. I think we've done enough. We're doing baby steps, little tiny baby steps, to get her ready in this little bit spooky area, which is my covered square pen with mirrors and wind sounds coming through the doors and so forth. So, okay, everything we do in a new place, you got to deal with a new place as well.
Our cast of characters: Sadie and Eve, Sammy, Rusty and Susie, Heifer Calf Sela. For more information, www.cowgirlchannel.com.